Hello, everybody. This is a presentation of the materials for week 15. I'll do a separate recording of the appendix materials for week 15. So let me go ahead and share my screen. So today we're going to talk about major openers and responding one no trump or a suit, which is different than what we did last week. Um, That's Country Joe McDonald at Woodstock. No, he didn't open the whole thing, and maybe he's not that major, but I do think the crowd responded. Reminders from last week. The purpose of bidding is simply to answer two questions. What suit do we want to be in, and how high do we want to be? And if that's all you think about during the bidding, you'll be relaxed and you'll be successful. Secondly, we need to count points. If we're thinking about should I open the bidding or responding when you can't support partner suit, you count your high card points and you add points for length in any suit that's 5 cards or longer. And if you're a responder, you count your high card points. And if you have support for partner suit, you can add for shortness, 1 for a doubleton, 3 for a singleton, even more for a void, because your hand is likely to take some additional tricks for partner. If you have 12 or more points, you should open the bidding. And if you have a wonderful hand with 15 to 17 balanced high card points, open one no trump. It's the world's greatest opening bid because it is so descriptive. If you have 14, if you have 18, don't open one no trump. You'll do other things. Priorities. In our bidding, we're always seeking to find a fit in a major suit. And a fit means 8 or more cards between your two hands. Lacking that, we'll play in no trump if we can. And if we don't have enough of the suit stopped, we'll play in a minor suit. And reminder, we need 5 or more cards to open a major suit, hearts or spades. The reason for this is it makes it much easier to find an 8-card fit when we have one. Next week, we'll talk about minor suit opening bids. You can open a minor with fewer than 5 cards. And today, very importantly, and we'll talk about this next week as well, you can bid a 4-card major suit during the auction. It's only for the opening bid that there's the requirement to have 5 or more cards in the suit. Last week, we talked about opening one of a major that showed a very wide range, 12 to 21 points, and at least 5 cards in the suit that you're bidding. Examples. I count this as 4, 7, 10, 11, 13, 17 high, and 2 for length, 19 points, a fabulous hand. I'm going to open 1 spade. Another example. Ace, king, queen, jack, that's 10, and 1 for length is 11. That's not enough points to open the bidding. Even though you have your 5-card spade suit, you'll pass. And something we'll talk about much later is if you have 22 or more points, you'll open 2 clubs. It's an artificial bid. It says nothing about clubs. The purpose of this bid is simply to scream to partner that I have a complete monster hand. And there's a whole structure for bidding after that, which we'll discuss at some point. Last week, we talked about how we can raise opener's major by bidding her suit. So let's suppose that partner opens 1 heart. There are several possible things you might hold. You might have a terrible hand, fewer than 6 points. And in that case, I'll come to that. Another possibility is you're relatively weak, say 6 to 10, but you have 3 or more of partner's suit. Well, partner has at least 5 hearts, so you now know the answer to the question, what suit do we want to be in? You know you have a fit in hearts. Another possibility is you have a stronger hand, 11 or 12 support points, and you have 4-card support. And the other thing that we talked about last week was when you have a really weak hand, but you have a lot of partners suit, five or more, and you have a singleton or void, which will guarantee that your hand can provide some tricks by ruffing. That'll be very helpful to partner. So what do we do with these different hands? Well, you can't say any of these things out loud, but you can make bids that explain these English words exactly. With a terrible hand, we talked about last week, you simply pass. If you have a weak hand, but you have support, 6 to 10 points, you bid two hearts. You raise partner from one heart to two hearts. Or if it had been one spade, you'd raise to two spades. Bridge players often call this a simple raise. The next step is a stronger hand, 11 or 12 support points, and four or more cards in support. This is a wonderful hand, and we scream it to partner by bidding three hearts. That's called a limit raise. We're jumping from one to three, and it says, partner, I've got at least four in your suit and 11 to 12 support points. Now, if you take a beginning bridge class, they may not make the distinction that you have to have four cards in the suit, but I'm a real stickler for it. The reason is, as your game develops, you'll discover that 5-4 fits play a lot better than 5-3 fits. And this piece of information for opener is hugely important. And if you don't build that into your thinking early, it's really hard to change it later. Finally, if you have a weak hand, but you have a ton of partners suit, you jump to four. That's called the weak freak bid. It's a lot of fun. It's very effective. We'll look at an example later. Our main focus today is what to do when you have enough points to bid, say 6 or more, but none of these bids are appropriate for your hand. So we'll talk through all of those. So what do you do if you can't raise partners one of a major opener to 2 or 3 or 4? If partner opens a major, the first thing you'd love to do is raise to 2, 3, or 4, if that describes your hand. It immediately tells partner the answer to the question, what suit do we want to be in? And it positions partner to make the decision about how high. If you can't do that, you just make a bid that starts describing your hand. Remember, bidding is a conversation, and we're just continuing the conversation. Examples we'll look at on the next page. You might pass. You might bid your own suit. You might bid no trump. Suppose you have enough to bid 6 or more points, but you can't raise to 2, 3, or 4. Let's look at some examples. Partner opens a heart. You have 4, 7, you have 10 high card points. You certainly have enough to bid, but you only have 2 hearts, so you don't know whether or not you have a heart fit. So you just start describing your hand. Bid 1 spade. And in English, what this says is, I have 6 or more high card points, and I have at least 4 cards in my suit. Notice the distinction here. For an opening bid, you'd have to have 5 spades, but for responding, 4 is enough. And the reason is that once partner opens the bidding, if you have a 4-card major and you bid it, if partner has a 4-card major and you have an 8-card fit, partner will know and partner will guide you to the right contract. Really important, this bid is unlimited in strength. It has no upper point limit, so opener must bid something. Some people call this a forcing bid. I find that terminology a little confusing. It's just your bid is unlimited. Partner has to say something so that partner can hear more from you in the conversation. Here's another example. Partner opens a spade. You only have 2 spades, so you don't know yet whether or not you have a spade fit. Partner could have 6 or 7 of them, but you don't know that. 4, 7, 10 high card points. What will we do with this hand? We'll bid 2 clubs. And in English, what we're saying is, we'll look at this phrase later, I went to the 2 level to bid my suit. And that says I have at least 10 high card points and I have at least 4 cards in my suit. Again, there's no upper limit to this bid. So opener has to say something to give you the opportunity to tell opener whether you have a really big hand. And last example, we'll look at 1 heart by opener. You only have 2 hearts. You don't know whether you have a heart fit. 3, 4, 5, 6 high card points. You have to say something, but you can't raise hearts, can't bid spades. You'd kind of like to tell a partner about your club suit, but we'll look at this later. To bid your club suit, you'd have to bid 2 clubs. And it's really important to understand that when you have to go up to the 2 level to bid your suit, you need some extra strength. You need some oomph. In this case, you don't have it. And so what you do is you bid 1 no trump. And in English, what it says is, partner, I have 6 to 9 high card points. I'm weak. Be careful. We don't want to get too high. We'll see this on the next page. I have 6 to 9 high card points. I can't raise your suit, and there's no suit that I can bid at the 1 level. Really important thing that takes a while to get used to. This bid does not say anything about whether your hand is balanced. It's just saying I have 6 to 9, I can't raise your suit, and there's no suit that I can bid at the 1 level. So I mentioned that if you're going to bid, quote, go to the 2 level, so looking at these hands, opener has 14 high, 1 for length is 15. Opener's going to bid a spade. Responder would like to mention her club suit, but she only has 6 high card points. She can't bid her diamond suit. She can't bid 2 diamonds. Here's the reason. If responder doesn't pay attention to this requirement of 10 high card points to bid at the 2 level, the bidding is likely to go like this. 1 spade, responder bids 2 diamonds. Opener, well, she can't bid her spades again. That would promise 6. She doesn't really want to bid no trump. She wants to describe her hand. So she bids 3 clubs. Well, now responder is thinking, I don't want to play in spades. I'm not very excited about clubs. Let me tell partner that I have this really long diamond suit. I'll bid 3 diamonds. Well, opener's not very excited about the diamond suit, but now opener starts to get excited. Opener has a stopper in hearts, and opener bids 3 no trump. And after the opening lead, dummy comes down and you go down 3, or maybe more. How do we avoid this kind of a disaster? And the answer is responder needs more than minimum high card points to go to the 2 level. And by going to the 2 level, I mean here bidding 2 diamonds after the 1 spade. So 2 things, responder needs 10 high card points to bid 2 diamonds with this hand. And with this hand, responder must bid 1 no trump. We'll talk more about this later. If you have enough to bid, but you can't raise to 2, 3, or 4, let's formalize what we just talked about. Opener bids 1 of a major, responder might bid 1 of a suit. That says I have 6 or more high card points. I have at least 4 cards in the suit. Again, the bid is unlimited, so opener has to say something. Secondly, if opener bids 1 of a suit, responder might bid a suit at the 2 level. 1 spade, 2 clubs. In fact, let's look at the examples. 1 diamond, 2 clubs, 1 heart, 2 clubs or 2 diamonds, 1 spade, 2 clubs, 2 diamonds, 2 hearts. All of these bids were just kind of naturally, you had to go up 1 step to show your suit. These promise at least 10 high card points and 4 or more cards in the suit. Again, the bid is unlimited. So opener has to say something. Opener must respond. Opener must bid so that responder can finish describing her hand. In general, what you want to do is bid your longest suit. And if you have multiple 4-card suits, you bid them, quote, up the line. We'll talk a lot more about that next week. Suppose opener bids one of a suit. The other possibility for responder is to bid one no trump. This says I have 6 to 9 high card points. I can't raise your suit, and there's no suit that I can bid at the one level. This bid does not promise a balanced hand. That's hard for people to get used to. Super important. The most important thing about this bid is it says your hand is strong enough to respond, but barely. And it tells opener, be careful, I don't have very much strength. An opening one no trump bid is incredibly different than a one no trump response. An opening one no trump bid shows 15 to 17 high card points and a balanced hand. If opener bids one of a suit, responder bids one no trump, it says something very, very different. Will you get this goofed up occasionally? Yeah, a few times, and then eventually you won't get it goofed up anymore because that's how we learn bridge. We make mistakes, we do things we wish we hadn't done, and then we learn not to do those things. So more examples. With a weak hand, basically you and your partner want to get out low if responder has a weak hand. So partner bids a heart, you have 3, 6 high card points. You have to say something because opener could have 20, 21. In this case, you could bid one spade, and in fact, that's the recommended bid. It says, partner, I have at least 6 high card points, and I have at least 4 cards in the spade suit. Again, this bid is unlimited, so opener has to say something. Turns out your hand is extremely minimal for this bid, but opener is going to say something. So here's what might come next. Maybe opener bids 2 hearts. They're saying, I've got not just 5 hearts, but I've got at least 6. What do? Well, you want to get out low. You don't want to bid any higher. And in fact, now that partner has promised 6 hearts and you have 2, you know you have a heart fit, you just pass. Maybe opener bids 2 spades. We'll see this next week when we're talking about responding to minor suits. What that 2 spade bid by opener means is, gosh, we have a fit in spades. You only promised 4 spades with your bid. So opener is promising 4 spades. Opener knows you have at least an 8 card fit. One of the amazing things about an auction is how much you learn about partner's hand. Partner opened a heart, and then after you bid a spade, they raised to 2. You now know that partner has 5 or more hearts and 4 or more spades. It's a huge amount of information. Your hand is so minimal that you're thrilled to play in 2 spades and you pass. Maybe opener rebids one no trump. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. This says I've got a balanced hand with 12 to 14 high card points. Well, you want to get out low and no trump seems like a very good place to be, so you pass. Or maybe opener rebids 2 diamonds. Well, gosh, you're pretty excited now because you definitely have a diamond fit. But you don't have very much strength. You don't have much oomph. Again, you're going to pass. You're thrilled to play in 2 diamonds at a nice, safe, low level. And as another example, maybe opener rebids 2 clubs. So you look at your hand, you're not very excited about hearts. You're not very excited about clubs, but you don't really want to bid your diamond suit because that's going to sound forward going to your partner. You want to get out as low as you can. It looks like the hands don't fit very well at all, but it looks like the safest place would be to play in your 5-2 heart fit. There's nothing you can do to manufacture a 4-card spade suit in partner's hand. She would have told you if she had it. And there's nothing you can do to give yourself more club support or more heart support. Looks like 2 hearts is the safest place. So you just bid 2 hearts and opener will pass. Okay, super important, probably the biggest part of today's presentation. It's in some sense almost intermediate. Remember, we're trying to answer what suit and how high. Suppose partner opens a major. There are many times when you will make a bid of a different suit and later support partner's major. So let's take a look. Here's an example. Um, Partner opens one heart. I, as responder, count 10, 17 high card points. I know we need to get to game, and I have three card heart support. I know we have at least eight hearts. So I know we want to be in game and we want to be in hearts. But I can't bid four hearts right away because that's the weak freak bid. That would be telling partner I have a weak hand with a ton of hearts. That's not my hand. So I have to describe it in a different way. And so what we'll do is we'll just take our time. We had 17 high card points and one for shortness, 18 support points. We know hearts and game, we're thinking maybe slam. If opener has more than a minimum, we might have slam. No direct raise describes this hand. Can't bid two hearts or three hearts or four hearts. They all have different meanings in English. So what we'll do is we'll start out by bidding one spade. There's no hurry. The one spade bid, remember, is forcing. It says I have at least four spades and at least 6 points. Opener has to do something else, has to bid something else so that you can finish describing your hand. Let's see what partner says. And then the next bid that we'll make is a jump to four hearts. Or maybe we'll even start looking for slam if partner did something that said she has a lot of strength. So we didn't raise opener's major immediately. We waited around and then we bid it. Here's another example. 4, 7, 10 high card points, one for shortness, 11, because we see we have a heart fit. We know that we want to be in hearts and maybe game. We have the strength for the jump to three hearts, but we don't have the shape for it. We only have three hearts. So what do? We temporize. We bid two clubs. That says, hey, partner, I have a club suit and I have at least 10 high card points. Partner must say something because your hand is unlimited. Partner will describe something, and then your next bid is a jump to three hearts. And what partner will realize is, hey, you didn't jump immediately to three hearts, but you did now. So you must have the strength for it, 11 or 12, but you've only got three hearts, not four. Some people call this doing the two-step. And if that little idea helps you remember it, that's great. Let's think about that auction again in a slightly different way. I sometimes hear people after the auction starts, one heart, one spade. Opener will think, gosh, partner doesn't like my heart suit. I'm encouraging you, don't ever say the words to yourself, partner doesn't like my suit. Here's the example. This man comes home, says, I can cook chicken for dinner. Partner says, we have leftovers in the freezer. Opener says, I also bought some pork belly. And partner says, hey, chicken sounds great. And they've decided what they want to do for dinner. In bridge, it's like this. Remember, she never said, I don't like chicken. She just said something else in the meantime. He opens a heart. She says a spade. He says two diamonds. And she says three hearts. That's the three card limit raise. 11 to 12 support points, exactly three hearts. And very importantly, she never said, I don't like hearts. So keep this image in mind when you're thinking about making a delayed raise. So let's review. Let's assume the opponent's passed throughout. If opener bids one of a major, just tell her something about your hand. If you have at least 6 points, bid. Otherwise, pass. Why do you have to bid with 6? Because partner has this huge range of 12 to 21. So if you have 6, You need to keep the bidding alive. Partner could have 20, 21 points, and you might have game. Generally, you just bid naturally. If you can, you make a direct raise of partner's suit. Otherwise, you bid no trump or you bid your own suit. And remember, all we're trying to do is answer two questions: what suit and how high? The examples that we just talked about, and again, this is kind of almost intermediate, but I think it's really important to get exposed to early and to build into your thinking early. If partner opens a major and you bid a no trump or you bid your own suit, you might at your next opportunity jump in partner's suit or jump all the way to game in partner's suit. That's how you show when you have an invitational hand or a game going hand with exactly three card support. And remember, if you're going to bid your own suit, if you have to go to the two level, you must have at least 10 high card points. If you're weaker than that, you just bid one no trump. It does not promise a balanced hand. We'll talk about that yet again. Opener's second bid. So opener has bid one of a major, responder has bid. Remember, bidding is a conversation trying to answer two questions: what suit and how high. After hearing responder's bid, opener might do a few different things. She might know where to place the contract. She might make a bid that invites responder to bid game or not, or she might simply make a bid that continues describing her hand. And the ways she might continue describing her hand are rebidding her suit, bidding a new suit, bidding no trump, or if you bid a suit, raising your suit. Rebidding her major suit promises a six-card suit. And in a few weeks, we'll talk about what to do with strong hands. Opener would make a jump if she had a strong hand with at least six cards in the suit. So let's look at some examples where opener simply places the contract. Opener, I count 11 high card points, 12 high card points, and 2 for length, 14. Lovely six card spade suit, you bid a spade. Responder, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Responder knows we have a spade fit. We can add 1 for shortness. We're up to 8. That's a simple raise to 2. And now opener looks at her hand. She had 14. Responder's limited to 10. Opener knows we can't get to game. And so opener just passes. Opener just realizes we're not going anywhere, and opener is happy to pass. Let's give opener a better hand. Responder has the same hand. Now opener has 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 19, 20, 21. 21 points. What a beautiful hand. Opener bids a spade. Much better hand than the first one. But it's still a one spade opener. That's the whole idea, that the one of a major opening bid has a very wide range. Responder is in the same situation. 7 high cards, 1 shortness point in clubs with a spade fit, bids 2 spades. And now opener says, well, I had 21 and she had 6. I know we need to be in game. And in English, opener is saying, with your 6 to 10 points, we've got plenty for game. And responder, of course, will pass. Another example of opener placing the contract. Opener has 4, 8, 10, 13, 16, 19 high card points and 1 for length. Opens 1 heart, obviously at the high end of the 1 heart opener. Responder has 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 high card points. Does not know yet whether they have a heart fit. Responder can't bid 2 diamonds because she doesn't have 10 high card points. So responder bids 1 no trump. And then opener says, well, gosh, I had 19 high and she's got at least 6. That gives us at least 25. I know we have enough strength for game. And opener just bids 3 no trump. So very often opener is able to simply place the contract. Other times, opener will invite. What do we mean by that? Let's look at an example. 4, 8, 10, 16 high, 2 for length is 18. This is the same responder hand we looked at before. Responder knows there's a spade fit. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 plus 1 for shortness is 8. Responder bids 2 clubs. And now opener looks at her hand and says, well, I had 18. If responder has like 6, we shouldn't be in game, but if responder has 9 or 10, we should be in game. So opener continues the bidding and bids 3 spades. Opener doesn't have enough to bid 4, but is too strong to just stop at 2. And in English, the saying, please bid game if you're near the top of your 6 to 10 range. Responder, I'm at the low end. Let's just stop here. Another example, opener, 4, 8, 10, 18 high, 1 for length, opens 1 heart. Responder doesn't know yet whether there's a heart fit. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, not enough high card points to bid 2 diamonds, so responder bids 1 no trump, which says, hey partner, I couldn't support your suit, I couldn't bid spades, and I have enough that I have to say something. So I'll say 6 to 9 high card points. I don't have enough to bid my minor suit at the 2 level. Opener in this case looks at her hand and says, well, I've got 18, and responder had at least 6. Opener thinks, gosh, 18 and 6 is not enough for game, but 18 and 9 would be plenty for game. So opener bids 2 no trump to invite game. And in this case, responder would say, yes, I'm at the top of my range. And the way responder says that is by accepting the invitation, bidding 3 no. We'll talk in a few weeks about how if opener had another heart, she would have jumped to 3 hearts. And then responder would have known that they had an 8-card fit, and responder would have bid 4 hearts. We'll talk about that in a couple of weeks. Examples of opener further describing her hand. Opener has 12 high card points, 2 for length is 14, bids a heart. Responder 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, can't raise hearts, can't bid 1 spade, so bids 1 no trump. Opener now bids 2 hearts, which says, gosh, I've got 6 hearts and a pretty minimal opening bid. And responder says, I know we have an 8-card heart fit or longer. I'm pretty minimal, so opposite a minimal opener, I'm thrilled to just play in 2 hearts. Again, if opener had been stronger, opener might have jumped to 3 hearts. We'll talk about that in a couple weeks. Opener has a very similar hand here, just a little bit shorter heart suit. 10, 12 high, 1 for length is 13, opens 1 heart. Responder, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, has enough to bid and has a 4-card spade suit, so bids 1 spade, hoping to hear opener bid 2 spades. But this opener can't bid 2 spades. The best way to describe this hand is to bid 2 clubs. All it says is, hey, I've also got at least 4 clubs. Responder now looks at her hand and thinks, gosh, I have a really minimal hand. We don't have a spade fit. We don't have an 8-card heart fit. We don't have a real good fit in clubs either. And I can't bid this cruddy diamond suit and start getting us up too high. I think we're going to be safer playing in 2 hearts than 2 clubs. Partner has promised at least 5 hearts. So responder says 2 hearts. Interestingly, opener knows that responder has exactly 2 hearts, because with a minimal hand and 3 hearts, responder would have bid 2 hearts the first time. So it's amazing how much you can infer during the process of the bidding. Let's give opener the hand, a hand that's similar to the first two, but more balanced. 10, 12 high and one for length. Again, opener bids a heart. Responder, same hand as the prior one, can bid one spade. 6 to 9 high card points, at least a 4 card spade suit. And now, as we discussed a couple weeks ago, opener rebids one no trump. That says, hey, I'm balanced. I have 12 to 14 high card points. If I'd had more, I would have opened a no trump. If I had 6 hearts, I would have rebid 2 hearts. If I had another 4 card suit to bid, I would have bid it. And now responder looks at her hand and thinks, gosh, we want to get out low. We don't have a heart fit. We don't have a spade fit. No trump sounds like a pretty good place to play. And responder passes. These are all wonderful bidding conversations. So, summary, if you're going to raise opener's major, you have at least 3 cards in support, so you know you want to play in the major. Last week, we talked about 4 different bids you can make. With 0 to 5 points, you just pass, with the exception of the weak freak. With 6 to 10 support points, you raise to 2. And with 11 or 12 support points and at least 4 card support, you jump raise to 3. And finally, once in a while, you have a weak freak, 5 or more card support, not strong enough to make a limit raise, and you have a singleton or void somewhere, you jump to 4. These are the bids we talked about last week. Today, we've introduced 2 new sequences. If you have 11 or 12 with exactly 3 card support, you know you want to play an opener's major, but you don't know whether you can go to game or not. And you can't jump to 3 right away because you only have 3 card support. So you bid a suit, and after that, or no, you bid a suit, and then after that, you jump to 3. That's a 3 card limit raise. You jump to 3 of opener's suit. And the reason for this is that 9 card fits play much better than 8 card fits. It's really helpful to opener to know which one it is. Many players fail to make this distinction. I think it's super important. That's why I encourage people early in their bridge bidding career to start incorporating this into their systems. And finally, you might have 13 or more points and support. You can't make any of the other bids we talked about, so again, you temporize. You bid a suit, and then you make a jump to game. If responder doesn't raise immediately, what happens? Well, suppose opener bids a heart or a spade and responder passes. Well, we're done. Suppose opener bids a heart or a spade and responder bids one no trump. What responder is saying is 6 to 9 high card points, no suit to bid at the 1 level, can't raise your suit. My hand might not be balanced, but I have to bid one no trump because there's nothing else that I can do. This is a very common response that communicates a lot of information. Here's another possibility. 1 heart, responder bids 1 spade. Responder is saying I have at least 6 high card points and at least 4 spades. Opener has to say something because this hand is unlimited in strength. And finally, if opener bids a heart or a spade and responder bids 2 clubs or 2 diamonds, they're saying they have at least a 4-card suit and they have at least 10 high card points. Same thing if opener bids a spade and responder bids 2 hearts. These bids down here are super important to recognize that they have unlimited strength. They're just saying 6 or more, 10 or more. It's a forcing bid. Opener has to bid again. You might support opener suit later. Today we'll play hands. There's a very extensive appendix. I'll do a recording of that separately. Thanks again, and see you soon.